the beta bear. See? That's one day
Hey,
I'm going to
TBE.
wind up. See, you don't understand because I can reconcile me and be okay with me. I can do whatever I want now. So one day I might just go do children's books with the white gorilla and put on a goofy outfit and teach children about morals and ethics and principles and values and right. And then I get to do a song for all the beta males out there. Boy, would that trigger you if I had a group of children in front of me and I wrote a story, 20 pages of how to be a beta male versus an alpha male in creation. And then I sang a song with an outfit on. You would like show up to bomb the place. You'd show up and bomb the place with the children inside and claim it was righteous because I was in there. That's how sick and twisted you are.
It's amazing, like how you just literally won't let me talk. What does this say?
Okay, have a conversation with me then.
Oh, there you go. Hold on, no,
you
we're
don't
bringing
get
it
to
all
talk,
out now.
TBE,
We're
is because
bringing
you've
it all
gone
out.
around
Oh,
these
God.
channels picking
Tommy.
and
No,
choosing.
we're bringing it all out now. Okay, finally I got the hater out of London, man. I've been waiting to get that hater out of you. Aren't you supposed to be an underground gangster street guy who keeps it real? You've been a fake ass bitch for the longest time. Let's just call it out now, because I came over there to talk to you directly and ask you if I, the great Paul Unslaved, was mistaken because I wanted to respect you as a fucking man. But you didn't command that now. So you can now talk about Christos and then try to connect me with him because he dresses like a pack of Skittles, as I've talked about before. And then you want to ask me why you and Christos keep stuffed animal toys around you with no children in the house and then put a duck like I'm a duck. It ain't my house. There are children in this house, or were children at one time. This is an old room with all the stuff in it that hasn't been moved. So you just made yourself look like a fool again to jump out the window because you're a hater, but you sucked my dick the first few weeks I came there because that's what haters always do when you see a player. You suck up to me to try to get some of the good game and energy and to show respect because I'm something in this and you're not. Right? You got no content, no presentment, no character online. There's nothing with you. Your broadcast sucks.
Allegation
right?
is
if
pretty
you didn't
serious.
have a panel, you wouldn't be able to do shit. Another guy who couldn't do shit without a panel, and even your panel sucks. So let's just call it as we see it. I've been begging you fake ass motherfuckers who claim to be street people to be real for the longest time. And I had to jump out the window to get you to just be real about who and what you are and what you think of me. So thank you. I got what I needed one way or the other. And you made yourself look like a fool. Them ain't my stuffed animals. What are you, silly?
Oh, you're such a
I do photo shoots with girls on that stuffed
Benton,
giraffe.
set it up or I'm fucking out. I don't need to waste my time with
Nobody
this shit.
cares about you
You're
leaving or
fucking
going.
wasting your time, Tommy.
Your time doesn't matter. It's invaluable. You do nothing.
Nobody
with your life.
fucking
Who gives a
cares if
fuck
you're never
about
going to come
wasting
up here
time?
again.
Hey, Mr.
Right.
1 second, pipe down 2 seconds. Pipe down 2 seconds.
Yeah, definitely the cheerleading is
This
definitely.
is what I'm talking about,
Who's
Nacho
speaking,
Ito.
London?
You don't know
Fuck
what the
you.
fuck you're talking about.
Fuck
You
you,
got
Tommy,
here late.
you
I'm
motherfucker.
talking directly to Benton.
Fuck you, you
fucking
motherfucking bitch.
You goof
I'll
little
fucking fuck you up,
faggot.
you fuck you
No, you
fucking
won't do
faggot
shit
motherfucker.
from your peak
I'll
mountain
fucking kill you, you
nowhereness.
bitch.
You faggot fucking slope. You won't do shit. You don't know what you're
Oh,
doing.
there you go. Let's insult his sexuality and his race, his ethnicity. That's another guy who serves as Sky Daddy. Notice how all the religious hypocrites and frauds are the same? Their default mode is bigotry, division, and hate. And they think it's justified, right? Oh,
Wow,
let's call him names based on his age and heritage.
Bro.
That's good.
Cool position, Marxist bro. Cool.
I don't know what that means. And no, I'm revealing your psychology. It's got nothing. See, he did it again. He thinks revealing someone's bigotry and hate in their psychology, which is their default go-to mode, has anything to do with a political idea of Marxism. You're an idiot. You're not as smart as you think you are, and you don't even know yourself and the root of your own consciousness and what it does. You're the blind leading the blind out here. The blind leading the blind. That's what we're dealing with.
Sorry, Paul, you don't understand.
What has
So this is
what
it.
has
Then you're just gonna let the
being an
typical thing
Asian
go
have to
down
do
and
with
go walk
anything,
out of
Tommy?
here, and you can fuck.
What does him being Asian have to do with anything? Nothing. What does it show about Tommy? that he has bigotry, division, and hate for each person depending on what they present? Because that's what he views, and that's where his power is centered in and of the world. Because he's divided from true self and creation on life's terms. Exactly.
Paul, if you ever want to actually have
What does you being Asian have to do with anything, Nachikita? Absolutely nothing. I love Asian women. I love Mexicans. I love black people.
Then why mention it? It has nothing to do with anything.
You destroyed, broken Cretan addict. You don't know what love and care and commitment and dedication to anything truly is. You're a joke.
Hey,
Nachikita, we're spelling out why I'm doing it. You don't understand why your daddy says he does it.
You can't produce a woman or child in your life from the past 45 years who could testify to anything redeemable or valuable about you.
Yo,
the fuck would you know about love and care?
These internet men talk this big talk. They never walk the walk out here.
Talk to me.
100%. They never walk
There's
the walk.
the poetic justice of London
It's
man having
all
horrible
fucking
mic connection
masquerade,
again.
this bullshit you see on the internet. This guy Paul and everybody that purports themselves to be higher than they are, they're a bunch of fucking fake, phony losers.
I didn't say I was higher than everyone. I said the
Yeah,
way
you
you
are. You
present.
say it all the time.
I
Paul.
said the way you present in a way where you're perceived as beneath me. I didn't say I was better and beyond you. I said by your presentment, you've shown you're beneath me. Do you see the difference in the logic, the inverse logic?
Clown.
Yeah, but meanwhile, TDE,
you operate on deductive reasoning. You're not able to use different forms of logic and debate. You can't. You're not able. Your mind doesn't work that way.
But meanwhile, TDE is calling somebody else that they are blasphemous. So it's not coming from a higher position. Are you not coming from a higher position by calling somebody else a blasphemous person?
Are you asking me? Am I allowed to speak here?
I'm asking you, TBE. You're saying that Paul is saying that he is better than other people. In some cases, that he is. But the thing is, are you also not putting yourself in the position that you're better than somebody else by saying that they are blasphemous or not?
I'm being objectively consistent with Scripture about.
So you're objective.
Okay, there we go. The man doesn't know the difference between objective and subjective. See, scripture was penned by a subject, making it a subjective claim or presentment. You think that a subjective claim or presentment can be objective because you don't understand logic and perspective because you're adult.
Insecure.
Just because you say it's objective, that doesn't mean it's objective.
And cite a scripture written by a subjective being, subject to people, places, things, and time that it was a part of. But if I cite the Tao, which speaks in an objective way about consciousness and awareness, he'll tell me I'm being subjective. See the hypocritical games the religious zealots play from the beginning of time? They just pick and choose based on their feelers, and they have no perspective on the creation and how it all works.
You're still weak, Paul, man. You won't even let me talk.
It's not about weak. I've already outclassed you day in and day out. That's what many of you don't figure out ever. I've outclassed you and outcompeted you using the consciousness and awareness you don't have. So it's not that I'm above you. You're unconscious and unaware. That puts you beneath me.
Bro, you can't outclass me when you can't let me speak.
Mic check.
That's obviously clear, bro. You're a fucking coward and you know it, Paul.
You're good, London man.
You'll never survive this in a real fucking debate, bro. Where
all right, let's have London man speak for a little bit because he just got here.
You don't know the rules of debate, and you don't know proper debate etiquette and presentment. You can't debate, dummy.
Punk, dude. You're a fucking punk, Paul.
You don't even know the difference between a subjective and objective logic, and you're going to debate me? Are you kidding? You don't even know the difference between a straw man, a logical fallacy, and an actual fact or proof. You don't know the difference between proof and evidence and facts. You're a fool. This is why I destroy you at court and folks like you and everybody who thinks they're going to be part of a court and try to use their subjective logic to overwrite the law of the land, which is written in objective fashion. It's universal.
Nobody asked. You
don't understand anything, and you cannot hold a candle to me in the majority of venues, and I'm tired of even playing this game with you all. It's embarrassing.
fucking nigger fuck, dude. That's all you
There
are.
you go. There you go.
Yeah, cancel me, bro.
That was an indicator of something productive and valuable. Throw the N-word out there. Sacrifice Benton's channel because you are a triggered emotional hoe.
I'd like to thank Mr. TBE for reminding me to screen cap the broadcast on that laptop over there. And back to work, sir.
What else? What else?
It won't let me speak, so I'm going to yell the N-word. That makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It shouldn't have to make sense to your fucking fat, retarded ass loser bitch.
Oh, I'd love for you to be back on the streets of New York with some of the folks I used to hang with.
Oh, right. You're a hard ass dude, right?
Oh, man, I'd love for us to all be in the middle of debate where I could say whatever I want because I'm proven and solidified and certified in many areas. And then you're there for some reason because I allowed you to be there. And you just yell the N-word out to me. Well, you wouldn't because you know what would happen. But I'd love it if you did. I'd love to be part of that simulation, you know. And then when you have a 45 inserted into your rectum, you'll reconsider maybe speaking like that, living like this, acting like this without consequence, seemingly, because you're in a bubble of false security. That God ain't going to protect you from what other people are going to choose to do based on what you chose to do.
Wow.
So you'll learn that at some point. You'll learn true respect at some point when your bitch ass gets locked up like everybody else. You'll learn good citizen, how to be a respectful, honorable man at some point.
Syllables. I'm so scared of 2 syllables.
I can't wait till scum like you, all the majority of the suburban scum has to go to a FEMA camp with all the other people that you hate on subliminally and subconsciously. I can't wait when you're all reduced back down to the common slave peasant, ruled over because you didn't choose to embody your birthright. Birth in quotes, of course. I can't wait. I want to see you talk and pop all this shit at a concentration camp where you're completely ruled over and have no personal choice and live like animals in the barracks. I can't wait.
The hypocrite comes out of you so quick.
I can't wait for when you get what the fuck you want and what you choose. I can't wait.
Peace.
Because you ain't standing for nothing on the ground, but you're going to come here and argue here. It's fucking nonsense. So I can't wait when the inevitable comes, and then you have to be there doing this, and you get your comeuppance.
Silence me, bro. Keep silencing me. Keep shutting me up.
You're already silenced. You're blind and deaf. So when you speak, you only convict yourself. You're voiceless and powerless. What's the difference if you're uttering sounds and tones and there's no information contained therein? There's no usable, valuable information contained within the utterances of your tones. So you're basically voiceless and powerless. Even given a voice in the word, you can't use it properly. You're so dissolute and incompetent. You don't even know how to use your own vessel properly.
Paul, you're afraid, and I know it, bro.
I wish we could watch a movie for Benton's birthday.
You're
I'd like
literally
a movie party.
You can't handle the things that I say, so you have to shut me up.
I'm so scared of what you're going to say. I've never heard it before. I've never heard any of this narrative before, day in and day out.
Bitch ass punk. That's all you
This
are.
is so new to me and scary. I don't know what I'm going to do.
So why do you have to silence me?
You're boring. You're uninteresting. I like fucking with your ego. I like fucking with your ego because you think you're going to overwrite the creation and play your own God. And I love watching you twist in the wind. It's a fun game.
Whatever. Suck your own fucking dick some more, you fucking loser. Stupid loser nigger, dude. That's all you are.
Yeah, throw the N-word on
Oh my
again.
God.
There you go. Keep putting Benton's broadcast.
Yeah, that's what you are.
You trying to cling and grasp for anything you think's going to incite the hate in me that exists in you constantly. It's not working, slave. It's not working, dumb slave.
Paul.
Fucking nigger. Fuck
Watch
you,
this,
Paul.
folks. Watch this. To people posting in the live chat, Paul, I'm going to pull rank briefly, if I may. We don't humor cage. Thank you.
Okay. Well, listen, you ain't going to get in the argument with me over that. I'm just trying to be fair and equitable and give a piece of my attention, daddy's attention, to all the slaves who usually want it. So if you have your own criteria with cage here, I will not resist that by any means. I have no reason to.
Paul, I'm out of here, man. Enjoy yourself grooming these submissive fucking losers, man. You'll never ever.
So you're better, right? Like you could really work. You could really work with daddy because you're not like the rest. You're a special boy. You're not submissive like the rest. You really
I'm
got
not
a
gonna sit here
cause
and
for
let
your
you talk
rebellion.
down to me like
You're
some
a rebel with a
bitch, dude.
cause.
Yeah, I do have a cause. You fucking
I know.
retard. What's your
We can
cause?
tell.
Driver's license?
You've totally, yeah, I got it.
Driver's license and
Right,
registration?
driver's license. Yeah, it begins and ends at a driver's license, right? Let's completely minimize the argument to try to make a point non-point. Great job.
It's a spiritual battle.
Right, because you think spiritual means you're completely inactive in the physical world because you're a dunce.
Yeah, go bully.
I'm pretty sure the Christed being was one of the most active motherfuckers on the ground when it came to rights, freedom, principles, spiritual faith, and willing to go to a box and die for what's true and what's right. You don't live that way. You just want to trust on what that motherfucker did. The same thing you do now with me. Isn't that interesting? You won't do what I do. You just want to trust on what the fuck I do and hope it's all going to get better. And it's not. You're going to get me killed or put in a box, and you're going to go to a slave camp. Stupid slave.
You can't.
Stupid infidel slave. And I'm going to hover in my pure consciousness and awareness and get to observe for the rest of time. But you slaves get to choose and not choose. And I'm going to feel nothing about it. I just get to observe it. And you get to have choice and do little to nothing with it. Well, then I'm beyond it at that point. I did what I could do. The rest is up to you, boys. Floating daddy. Pure consciousness and awareness with no ability to choose in the world anymore. Just observing and watching what his children are doing, stepchildren online are doing.
There he goes, talking about himself, sucking himself off. I love the way you masturbate yourself, Paul, for everybody. It's so amazing, Paul. It's so inspiring. You might fool some.
Thank you, sir. Do we need to go to another clip, Benton? Another inspiring clip of I, the one Paul enslaved?
Yes, but
I'm out
right
of here,
before
man.
that,
I didn't mean to disrupt
run
the
off.
podcast. I'm out of here.
Run off. Yeah, you didn't mean to two hours completely on your own dysfunction. Great job.
bro,
I mean, you don't want you can't communicate with a real man. I mean, that's up to you, bro.
You're obviously a real man. Do you have any evidence or proof of that?
Sir,
I didn't think so.
Sir, it's a broadcast. You
I
all
provide for
over.
myself and another person and the house I live in, the roof.
Sir, not only
Right,
did
the
he
same
step
old
on
chimpanzee nonsense.
he stepped on my bit non-bit, then he stepped on my trying to verbalize that he stepped on my bit non-bit. That is excellent timing, sir, especially on a broadcast with 89 concurrent viewers. There's something to be learned there at the Benton School of Broadcasting, of which Paul would be welcome to come and serve as professor emeritus anytime of his choosing. And I would drop this mic, but it might break, and I need to.
Is there a remote class for that? Because I don't want to show up anywhere with these slaves. Can we do it remotely?
Oh, you can write the curriculum if you'd like and appoint the deans for all I care.
Right. It's again, any class that I teach always has to come back to the root of who I am and what I know, which is consciousness and awareness. You want to be a better broadcaster? Get more conscious and aware. You want to be better at XYZ? Get more conscious and aware. I know that's weird.
What an amazing experience this is. Truly fascinating, to be sure. And I can only the tribute currently stands at 42.99 cents there, and I'm so stoned I can't even speak in money.
But why are you doing that, bro? I don't expect you to give me anything that was contributed here, right? This is your space.
Well, it's given freely as tribute out of respect.
Okay, well, I'm not going to stop you from doing that, I guess, but I don't really, I don't necessarily require
Accept it graciously, Paul.
No, I understand that, but he's not a Kennedy and he's not a Rockefeller, and he's in a certain way right now.
That's why it's even more valuable then.
Give me the floor, sir. The
Dude, only Benton would give. Wow.
The floor one moment, Pineal.
That's the point, is that I'm kind of sick and tired of the few who are equitable and honorable and trustworthy always having to give to support and give value to what they see as true and what's right, or stand on it rather than the majority. It just gets a little bit, I go, why does it always have to be the good? I guess that's how it works. The good people are going to be the ones who contribute and support. The rest of the scum are going to try to use us and defame us. Go ahead, sir.
Have you? Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Paul, have you noticed that on my own channel, I almost never get to speak directly with you? It almost never happens because of the people around who cannot shut the fuck up long enough for me to get to actually talk to Mr. Enslaved. So now that I have this opportunity, I want to point out that much as I told the last person I paid some tribute to outside of the Dollar General, and then we had a brief conversation on a one-on-one human, interaction, which I firmly believe is healing on some level to both people. It's some sort of exchange. And as I got into my car to leave, I said, "And I'm not one of those people. I'm not one of those people who gives a fuck what you spend it on. It's your money. Do with it as you see fit."
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much
that's the spirit in which I would like to give this tribute on behalf of the people who were here for my birthday broadcast.
Well, I appreciate that, sir. I mean, at this point, all that I pretty much have, like there's really not much to really do for me on this walk here. So it's pretty much value just has to be transferred to the usual things that I speak about, hard assets that retain and accrue value over time, right? So, I mean, if one thing is for sure, two things for certain, if folks do contribute and support, at least they know, unlike their Hollywood freaks, I'm not running around town tricking it off on bullshit, trying to be someone and act like something. They're giving and supporting and contributing. It's going to some hard asset and value that's going to retain and accrue. You might find yourself, oddly enough, one day, we don't know where it's going to go. Folks from this broadcast, we might all get desperate and say, we're going somewhere, at least 12, 15, 20 of us, we're going to Paulie Boys. Whatever the fuck we contributed and donated is going to be there. It's going to be the land you're on, the guns and ammo you're going to use, the body armor, and whatever else. I know they're saying I'm starting a militia. No, I'm not.
Hell yeah.
That's lawful property that's used for protection and it holds value and accrues value. We ain't training to do nothing to nobody with any of that. But at the end of the day, you think that if folks show up and they've been contributing regularly, I'm going to tell them that I ain't going to hand them a shovel or a tool or something else and tell them, there's your piece of land, stay the fuck over there and stay out of my way and work toward the community area, gardens and whatever else. It's just, that's how it works, bro. Like people don't realize, I start to see the move of how God works in mysterious ways. And I go, you could sit here, Paulie boy, and this could come in, but remember one day you may have to provide. Right? Even more than just broadcasting and doing whatever, you may have to be daddy in a way and provide and re-give back what was given forth. So that's how it would be given back in that way. Is there may be a place for certain folks who are deemed to be credible and honorable and worthy of that position. Because again, you can't buy your way into this walk and you can't buy your way out either. So don't get it fucked up. Don't think because you're going to give me shit that it's not that. I'm saying there's certain folks who may be equitable and honorable, who contribute regularly, who by the time something may come, I'd say, you know what, I'm going to have these people down because they seem to be certain kind of people. And whatever they put forth, they're going to get a little something back for. And it might mean more than what they put forth.
This whole thing is a part of that vetting process, the way I see it. I mean, it's like a bit, non-bit, a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of talking about rights and principles and all that, and some spirituality, absolutely. But at the end of the day, the people who do come on the panels and the way they present themselves in the chat, they are exposing themselves for good or for bad. Either way, people cannot hide, unless they're completely lurking and they never expose themselves, then we don't know anything about them. But at the end of the day, we're going to know who people are and what they actually represent.
And real quick, $42.99 for me personally is a small price to pay for showing these people arguably, in my view, with the help of Mr. Unslaved, showing these people how it's done. You know what? You're right. You convinced me. And I'm going to go ahead and say it's such a small price to pay that you should go ahead and double and triple it. Just to kind of really cement this idea. Nothing.
Really greasing that wheel.
You see how they'll play you, bro? You go into this world doing that, and they'll play you against yourself. Right? And that's the thing is I have to remain humble with humility before the creation, because if not, I'll play myself and I'll play you the same way everyone else. Sure. If I'm able. Not that I believe necessarily Benton or anyone else would be played out of position. If they saw what my heart was and it deviated, they tell me to fuck myself. Yes. Well, here's the issue there as we talk about responding versus reacting. I have not been permitted space to respond. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. It's because I'm very rude and abrasive and animated. There's no apology necessary. Please let me yield. No apology necessary. I'm yielding. I have not had my opportunity to add my tribute to the pot yet, which that will be done privately, most likely, if that's okay.
Thank you.
Absolutely, sir. I appreciate
Would prefer not to
And-
negotiate and discuss terms. One moment, Notch. I would prefer not to negotiate and I prefer not to negotiate and discuss terms in public if that's okay. If that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, bro, at the end of the day, you got to understand the life that I've come from to where I'm at, just to have other men who I deem as competent, who work hard and have somewhat of their life together, contribute value to me is a blessing. You know, I really can't feel any other way about that other than blessed and thankful and grateful. So,
well, I'm sitting here.
Whatever you.
Hey, listen to this, brother. If I may jump in real quick, I'm sitting here filled up with the Holy Spirit, and you know they hate that, brother. I refer to it as that. That's what I call it because that's what terminology they gave me from a young age in the culture in which I was socialized. So those words can mean many things as far as I'm concerned. That's the words I choose to refer to that. But I'm tingling. My whole body's tingling. It's a wonderful day.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is, man. They don't understand that God uses the least among us. It seems a lot of the time, right?
So, is that me?
At one point,
go ahead.
Well, listen, I'm speaking for me. I don't know your walk. At one point, I can honestly say I was a detriment to my community. I was a pariah in a sense. I didn't contribute in any way. I walked the streets like a low life. You know, I was involved in activities that were less than reputable, you know, doing wrong. And I have to repent for that, right? So by doing what's true and what's right, I get to feel like a good man. And when I get value back from that, it's a win-win. I'm way ahead of the game, right? So I could, like I said yesterday, show up at any court in the land and now say with my head held high that I'm at least somewhat of a value and asset to the community according to them.
Absolutely.
Not even an egoic statement.
Yes, sir. Value given. Absolutely. Would typically be returned, I would assume, or repaid in some way, some free exchange of resources. Presumably. I'm extremely baked on my birthday, so I may not be making sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of what, in a way, I'm not going to do that whole thing. It might come off as victiming, but it's very much equivalent to an addict showing up, speaking to other addicts who's sober at the time. You know, we can argue about what that is.
I see your meaning, yes.
Yeah, one of the ways you cultivate self-worth and self-value and self-respect is by being an asset day to day. So just that process alone is such a blessing and a miracle that it allows me to make it that much more easier to maintain my distance from pills and powders or anything else. At my lowest moment, I don't even think about doing it. But if I did, I'd say, no fucking way. You think I'm going to overturn my purpose and meaning and everything I've worked toward and help to co-create to play games with something that would destroy me again? This thing has helped to build me and reform me and turn me into what I need to be. I'm going to go backward on that? Not a chance. As much as I could, you know, I guess be conscious and aware of it, because I don't even really need to summon a will to do it. It just is at this point.
You've left nothing to be said, in my view, sir.
Bro, I had a fucking dream last night. I have dreams at certain times. Like I'll go months without them and then I'll have a dream, and I smoke a ton of reefer still. So it's in my subconscious, man. I got dreams of wandering around with fucking with needles and shit and looking for a place to shoot up and being sick. It's fucking sick and twisted. So like it's in my subconscious that it was so fucked up for so long that now that I'm away from it, it's like a nightmare, man. Like I can't imagine I was part of it or even wanting to go back to it. Fucking nightmares of wandering around a prison somewhere, and not knowing where it is and how I got there, and dealing with these people and realizing, what the fuck am I doing here? There's more there for me, right? So yeah, that shit is heavy, bro. I mean, that's what fucking animates me and motivates me day to day is that shit. You know, that on the ground experience that you can't take back and wouldn't, because it is a source of inspiration and empowerment, even though it's dark, right? If you let it be.
I had a dream last night about black goo turning people into zombies. Like, seriously.
Well, I was just thinking about black. That's the one dream that came to mind because I had an experience on certain substances where I was hanging out with a couple of my friends, and they were both juiced up, let's just say. And this was early on, like a few years ago. And yeah, I just remember having like an experience thinking that this black goo was going to fucking fully encompass me, or was on a spiritual on a metaphysical level or something. This fucking, I don't know what to call it other than, like black goo. Like you see in Lucy and Hunger Games and fucking Prometheus and all these movies, man.
Cage,
Yeah,
Cage. We do not accept Canadian dollars. Sir, please.
Yeah, and I mean, he's such a piece of trash, right? Like they say that I don't, I don't get emotional. I'm narcissistic. I'm egoic. Then I talk about certain shit and I start to get emotional, and then they want to like double down on it. That's how hateful and angry and bitter they are. Oh, for the junkies, like you don't give a fuck about anybody. You don't even care about yourself, and you really have no real world or life experience to draw any kind of inspiration or empowerment from. You're a non-player character. So your story's never going to be told because nobody's ever going to want to listen.
but he can blow up your broadcast, Paul. He can make your broadcast like 10, 20 times bigger than what it is now.
Please, could give a fuck about what he could do for me. What can you do for yourself and the country and the world and the rest of what the fuck we're in? Sitting here trying to appeal to. They don't understand. I'm an expert at this point in detecting the motives and intention and root of what you're doing. You can't do nothing for me. If you could, you'd have done it already. The fact that you got to bring it up to me and then ask me if I want it is a fucking power game. If you saw value in me and had an infinite supply of fiat, like he says, you'd already hit me with 100,000 just to wake me up and show me you had the power. You think that I'm not stupid?
Mm-hmm.
You think you're going to get me to fold over an offer that you can't come through on to prove that I'm powerless? It doesn't work that way, bro. I got you outclassed and beaten. I'm 8 moves ahead of you.
Ask not what Unslavia can do for you, but ask what you can do for Unslavia.
They don't understand, bro. I don't want people like them to do shit for me. If I wanted evil motherfuckers to do shit for me, I would work with them, and I don't. Right? You see that in a way, I kind of feel comfortable about taking contributions and working with people who I see as good people. So I'm not like these people. They don't understand that, right? Not all money is good money to me. So I leave so much on the table because I just don't want to work with certain motherfuckers or their products and services or what they stand for or don't. So, that's the difference.
I think that's where your power is. Like to be honest, like in my opinion, like you not being manipulatable, like with praises or like fears of like, I'm not going to watch your channel or whatever it is, like that is power to me. That's where like that makes me want to trust you more, because then like if I see people, they're like, kissing ass here and sucking dick over there, and people are like giving them, I don't know, what do you call it, the blue moderator badges because of that, right? And then they all chummy with each other because of that. And that's all fucking manipulation to me.
Right. And that's the thing, is I've given nobody any ways in. The only way in with me is the way out. It's got to be the truth. You got to stand for something. I got to respect you. You got to respect me in the truth. So you ain't going to buy your way in with me. You ain't going to buy your way out. None of that shit.
But we're going to be accused of being culted up. If we stand for principles and rights and, values, that we're all culted up. I guess I want to be culted up if that's the case.
Well, that's the thing that they can't stand, is that there's pragmatic and then there's culting. If you speak the truth and you live it on some level and people resonate with it, they're going to want to walk with you, and it's going to look like a group and a movement or a cult. It's not what it is. It's true leadership, leading folks back to themselves and what's true and what's right.
Is it possible that like all the popular cults, Jim Jones, Charlie Manson, et cetera, were, Heaven's Gate or whatever, we're all federally funded, federally created at some level?
Probably.
Any of the ones that got a momentum, that is, and became part of a Netflix special, let's say, for example.
There's a lot of possibilities. There's a possibility that anything organic can happen. These might be single organic events that are then focused on in order to dissuade people from engaging in a process you've seen here. Because the first thing that's going to come to their mind is, well, we don't want to commune with a higher sense of self. We don't want to have some kind of label of being a movement standing for rights, freedom, and principles, they're going to Waco us. Right, exactly. The people who say they're going to keep you safe are going to burn your house down and kill children off of a claim they can't even substantiate. And then the slaves are going to run with it, and you're going to become a meme. So it's not like we don't know what the possibilities are on all levels. It's either organic, made to happen, let happen, right? We know that. My hop, lie hop. So, I mean, you think everything in creation probably doesn't exist? Yeah, they're just going to over-focus on that and ignore everything else. Label, characterize it, and then say everyone else is doing that. Like sovereign citizen, for example. If you even start talking rights, freedom, principles, and personal choice, they start throwing sovereign citizen at you at this point. So what's the difference? It's mind and heart control.
Yeah. What about like the Amish and the Mennonites? You know, like some people can say that they're a cult, but they're quite successful in their own way. If you really think about it, I mean, if you kind of got rid of the religious dogma, but the thing is, like, these people survived off the land without electricity or gas and cars and stuff like that for a couple hundred years, if not more.
I'm not going to London Man's channel. He didn't invite me. He was up here and didn't say shit. I'm not playing the little broken hoe games. You motherfuckers are supposed to be real ones. I gave you respect from the jump. I presumed you were a real one. You keep proving me wrong. So you were here. You didn't invite me to shit. I don't want to hear from third-party folks in chat that he went and created a stream like a hoe and then wrote something down there about inviting me. I didn't get the invitation. I ain't going to get it third party. I ain't showing up, bro. You were right here in my face. I do a broadcast every day. Stop playing online hoe games for energy and attention and content. You won't be seeing me there. So there's a failure before you started. Great job. Think you're going to bait me and play power games with me like you're that important that I have to show up to your broadcast to give you numbers, energy, and attention and content when you were just in my face and didn't say shit again? When I spoke my piece? I'm done. I'm authentic and real. I stay true to myself and what I perceive. You motherfuckers don't, and that's why you majority don't get my respect. Simple. I thought that was what men were.
Yeah, but you had some dolls that you were playing with, and then London Man accused you directly after that about the Pizzagate much. You know, like, what the fuck?
Right. So because I held up a doll that happens to be lying around in a room that was for her daughter from 5 years ago, 8 years ago, whatever the fuck it is. I don't know the timeline. You know, I mean, shit's been in the house. The house has been here 20 years. Everything you can think of from their upbringing is still here. The room has not been used. Okay, so, you know, like, what does one have to do with the other? Nothing. You're a fake ass bitch who's presumptuous and false claiming in bad faith, and you're going to try to tie me into pedo activity because I got a damn bear lying around her house from her daughter. You're a sick freak like you all are. You're not enlightened. You're not conscious and aware. You're not co-creative. You're online community freaks who have nothing to do in your life other than come on here and try to generate some false energy and content. And it goes nowhere. And when Paulie shows up in chat and says, another day of you folks cycling, what are you doing on the ground? You all start yelling at me and hating on me. Like I'm not being your daddy, telling you get out in the world and do and create something, correct your status, learn how to deal with the courts, practice your spiritual principles and process. No, you come online and fuck off with a community of twisted, dysfunctional people going nowhere fast. That's a you problem at this point. Right? I represent something different here. Whether you figure that out, I don't know. You think we're equal here in what we do in any fashion. We're not.
Fire emoji.
Yeah, to me, it's fucked up. Like, if you go there to that, like the pedalgate shit, like right off the bat without any fucking evidence, that's fucking fighting words to me. You know what I mean? Like you done fucked up now by saying that kind of shit.
These folks want to be known as something. Oh, we're enlightened. We're truthers. We're whatever the fuck. And then they do bullshit broadcasts on signs and symbols and number counting. And when Paulie Boy shows up with the same rap he's been doing for 2 fucking years now online, that was part of festivals and different conversations with folks they can't get into the conversation with. I don't even leave beyond it. I stay with the people and go, hey, fellas, let's do these certain things so we can all have access to these certain things and present a certain way. Nah, we want to do online gossip column, truther, fake ass shit, subliminals that goes nowhere on the ground. You wonder why I'm like gorilla season at this point, checking everybody. I see through all of it. So clear. And yeah, it'd be more beneficial to me probably to come on and just market and promote and get to a bag and use people for platforms and connections and networks like Talcott and the rest want to do and can't do. I've already been there and come down from it. I went up the ladder and came back down because I saw what it was. And they weren't going to let me be me and do what I do without catching, blacklisting, and blackballing. So let's gamble, motherfucker. That's what I live for. You ain't playing me out of position as a man on an online metaverse for a bag. Fuck you. And guess what? When I stood true on that and followed my heart and what was real, it all got better in certain ways. Right? And then just everything else is going to retain. And then what I put back into it is whether it's going to grow or not. So, and I already said yesterday, I'm doing that. So I'm going to put another 200 fiat in this month to fucking market and promote it online with ads and put my gorilla face in everybody's face while they're searching for their nonsense. Now you got to look at me on side ads and all types of shit. Now you got to have my videos popping up as the ad on your video. I'm taking over your shit. So please report to me if it's working. Go to their other horrible channels, because what I figured out is I figured it out. Everybody who hangs out in communities gets attached metaversally and then sectored off from the others. Everybody who then interacts with them gets attached on another web. It's like a chart. Bro, I had a list yesterday. I forget where I popped it up from. It showed every person and nobody else outside of that group, all connected with suggestions through people that I've talked to on here. And I know that I'm shadow banned from people even subscribed to me, not getting notifications and never coming through, and then asking me what happened. So they created or updated a system at some point where you get what they call sandboxed. Everyone that you talk to connected to me, connected to an idea, is going to be sectored off in the metaverse from all the other pop culture hoes. So you ain't going to come in their list. They ain't going to come to your list. When they subscribe, it's going to be undone. And then you got to literally pay to get out of the prison, essentially.
Yeah, that's how they work. Yeah, they compartmentalize you. They lump you in a group, and then they're like, these people are fucking miscreants, right? And then they just like, shadow ban you like as a
That's
group.
what suggested ads are. So they create a loop of people who all see each other, same shit, and it never goes out of the box, even if you pay for it. Because now the only people that are going to get my ads are on suggested channels that talk about the same shit I do, which is far and few between. So if you're a number counter and a shape watcher and a bullshitter truther, you're going to get access to more shit. Me, I'm going to be pigeonholed. And then the only places I'm going to get advertised on other videos are people that relate to suggestions.
That's how it works.
But it doesn't matter, bro, because it's still going to come up somewhere. It's still going to generate more energy and conversation. Right?
Not
and they don't understand that matter. They don't understand that I'm investigating all these people behind the scenes, and I've told them that, and I'm collecting evidence over time. And at some point, if I decide necessary, I'm going to sue all of them. And I'm going to show them in conspiracy to deprive people of their right to informed consent, to hear a content creator's original creation and make that informed consent. You have created a world where people can't get informed consent because they only get suggestions from suggested connections and links. That's an echo chamber. You don't want people to break out of their cyclical dysfunction and generational curses. I'm on to you. We're all on to you at this point. So, we're fixing at some point in the future to have a real big class action lawsuit and get a real big bag and put these people back in their rightful position. You're a fucking servant. You're not here to curate and editorialize and to divide concepts and ideas and information.
And you can use that money for the greater good, for creating like a community, buy land.
Yeah, I like money. I like money very much, I must say. Big fan. So I like.
Listen, it's just a tool, man. It's just a tool.
It's just a tool. Yeah.
I don't have to feel any way about it. It's a form of value and power that can be used as a tool that is indicative of some result. And then you have to determine what the root of that cause is, right? Were you lying, cheating, stealing, pushing toxins? You know, are you pimping and macking, or are you actually doing something that is honorable and worthy of celebration, right? A celebrity is someone who's worthy of being celebrated. Well, that would have to carry over into who they are in their life and on the ground. It can't just be the act they perform on stage. So we're here to replace these motherfuckers. That's what a metaverse is. Their TV shows are going to start failing because they got nothing. They can't keep the act going. So the slaves are going to keep going there. The really dumb, fucked up ones are going to keep going there. Everyone else is going to go here. That's when we replace these people who are unworthy of celebration as men and women. So you better learn to be that in your life. So when you come on here, you can replace these motherfuckers instead of complaining about them and watching them get to everything you can't get to.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I mean, like, their world is corruption. Their world is Ouroboros, a snake biting its own tail, just consuming itself. And, you know, they're just going to like predatorize the lower slaves, you know, and they're going to run out of people. But our world is going to be a balance. Our world is going to be of, spiritual hierarchy, you know, and living off the land, you know, being our own people, knowing and understanding what the rights and principles are, all this kind of stuff, real education.
Now everybody knows that you've seen it, Paul. You can't memory hole that London's saying, pull up, boy.
You're not getting it. All you beta boys online who try to play thug with this street lingo, that's not how it works. He pulled up here. I said what I said. He didn't say shit. He's the bitch now. You can't go back over to your side of town, start a party, and say pull up with your boys. Don't work that way. You already bitched up when I got you alone. You already didn't say what you had to say. I already called it out. You didn't respond. You ran off and then went back to your hood to start a party and pop fake shit. I'm not showing up. Why would I? I already got what I needed. You're silly. You don't understand how anything works.
No, I understand just how it works. Fuck.
You don't get points for that. You don't get points for that. You're here in my face now. Here's where the action happens. Anything else after this, I'm not concerned with it. Go do what you're going to do. Go start another broken hoe conference. Big surprise. You didn't say shit in my face, then went to your hood to start a broken hoe conference. Yeah, you just proved again you're a bitch. Great job.
No, it's the mod god powers.
What are you showing, dude?
I didn't throw London Man out. London Man was sitting right there, silent like a mouse. Oi, oi, London boy. He was sitting right there, silent like a mouse, and then mumbled something and took off. I didn't throw him in and out. Cut the bullshit. I did that to you, not him. Why are you all running together like bitches and hoes, claiming shit for each other? We're all individual men. I did that to you, not him. Why is there a we even in the conversation? Are you him? Is he you? Are you in a gang together? You claiming something or what?
I'm claiming I will ally with any.
You're claiming representation for the broken beta boys online and their conferences. Is that what you're doing?
What I'm doing is putting myself through this obviousness that if people can't catch on themselves.
We don't care. You're desperately trying to generate energy and attention and conversation for your failing channels, and we still don't care. No one's coming. You guys are boring and uninteresting, and you're not informative. So we don't care. Why do you keep trying desperately? It's pathetic. When you're here, you don't shine. Then you go over there and claim you're going to shine. When we show up, the same old boring bullshit. So stop trying to trick everybody and stop tricking yourself out of position. You're cheating on a test that you're failing in life.
It's like when you backstage me and go off on one of your...
I'm not interested in what you think and feel. And if Benton doesn't want me to do that, he'll tell me to stop. I think that we've come to find it's quite entertaining.
Even Nachikita, the stuff that Nachikita says he likes when...
You're now deflecting. You're trying to pull anyone else in the room into an interaction. More power games and bullshit manipulation psychology.
Who gives a fuck what I think?
No, he's
Who
in the
gives
room.
a fuck what I
Paul,
think?
he's in the room. He was addressing me earlier. So you...
Right, earlier, but we're here now. That was earlier. We're here now.
yeah, you insult me, call me Asian, whatever, and then tell me
Yeah,
that I
you're
like a
stuck
fucking
on that,
tranny
but
or
you
whatever.
can't see the
Who gives
bigger
a fuck
picture,
about what you say?
Nikita. Just like you don't
And you
have a
say that I have
problem with.
not achieved anything,
where's the
fine.
where's the fat
Fine.
EBT slave who pretends to be a broadcaster? Oh, wait, it's not 12 in the morning and he's not drunk yet, so he can't come up and talk like a man. Another cowardly, codependent, addicted beta boy who can't stand their ground and position, but types in the chat all day, every day. But I'm pathetic, EBT?
So Tommy, tell me what you have achieved in your life. That's what I would like to know. What have you done with the money that you earn on? So sad. Really, people have nothing to do except just to go around and hate on people. I mean, like, go and do your own thing. You know, go flock with your own birds.
No, this is their thing. You're not getting it. This is their thing, hating. They don't have anything else to do. There is no their own thing. This is it.
I mean, I get it, but I don't get it.
Well, they have no love in their life. They have no true care or heart or balls. They have no intuition or ingenuity. They're incompetent.
I got stoned. I can't remember who we're talking about.
It's all the same group of people, right? Day in and day out. EBT, Cuck Body, Illuma Tommy, Provo Child, on and on and on.
I've got I feel an affinity for Provo Kid, I must say, for whatever reason. Could be the whatever autism is. Again, autism.
Okay, let's do the simulation. In any situation where you would have to rely on him, would you be trusting and comfortable? Let's do the simulation. In any situation where you'd have to rely on him to trust him and his competence in any kind of test or challenge of will and dedication, where he might have to deal with consequences and sacrifice, would you really respect him and trust that? He'd run like a bitch.
Hey, they took the stream down, it looks like.
For what?
What?
Oh, not.
Are you serious?
Sorry. No, I'm just high. I was in the wrong window. It does seem like Paul repeated the same thing several times, though.
Yeah, I mean, like, there are very few people here on the internet that I would be able to trust my life with. Like, if I was like on a battlefield and then we were fighting against the Nazis or whatnot, I'd be like Paul, Benton, and a few others.
Please.
That's about it. No,
you
really.
trust the guys that'll let you ask me a question and then you all agree to sit.
We definitely wouldn't trust the guy who let
you would stab people in the back just for the fun of it.
We definitely wouldn't trust the guy who let policy enforcement stage in his apartment to do raids on his neighbors. We definitely wouldn't trust that cretin. Oh, that's you.
Yeah, keep running with it, because
I am. You're a police ass motherfucker. You work with policy enforcement to get people raided, and you don't even know what the reasons are. You're a Nazi scum. You'd be right there holding the paper, signing it, letting them stage to raid me, not caring what the reason was.
Don't they call them rats?
That's why you're a liar.
Tommy,
because I've told you the reason.
Tommy,
no, you told me what they told you the reason was and what you believe it was. You didn't get the search warrant, and you don't know what the reason was. So stop lying, scum. You're trying to protect your false presentment online. This bad boy who stands for something. You don't.
Dude, you're so lost in your sauce. I'll just clip the time I explained it and you refuse to fucking acknowledge it.
Why are you working with policy enforcement anyway? Why are you not taking an active role in your community, man to man? Why do you need a daddy to show up and protect you from your neighbors, you punk ass bitch?
You answered that when you explained.
You answered that. You're lisping like Daffy Duck as always. Why don't you tell us why you can't take a fucking active role anywhere in your life to change anything and need a daddy to do it, then work with them and act like policy enforcement isn't the bane of the American existence?
Benton, you want to take that one? I've said it right here on your show.
Oh, I wasn't listening.
Oh, I know. You just handed the keys
How are
off.
you? How are you,
Paul,
sir? It's
you
good to
got
see
this thing about all cops bad.
All cops are bad because they follow orders and don't use their own discretion to come to an objective root of right from wrong behavior. Order followers are bad humans by definition. You're sucking cop cock because you don't want to get thrown in a cell. You're a bitch.
Once again, you explained why I assisted the cops and let the cops do the thing.
No, there's peacekeepers and there's policy enforcement. They're coming there to enforce policy. They're not there to keep the peace. Fuck not. You don't know the difference.
No, you don't know what you know what you're not letting me say. Like, you think this is here about the back and forth. I just came back to let you keep playing your little games here with your mod god powers, because we both know it hurt. I hurt your feelings when I showed your fat ass by Wes Watson, and you said to my face that it hurt.
We're still on that now? I never said that. You think that I care that you showed a clip of me on stage, a video I put out, and then called me fat? You think that that moved me, and I haven't heard that before, and I haven't reconciled that, and nor can change that?
Nobody cares.
Right.
Nobody cares.
Right, except since you don't care, you had to go on a tirade about how many...
I can't come on and be here and work with you because it becomes the Paulie show like everywhere else. What does that mean? I attract a bunch of hating ass bitches.
All right, I'm wrapping this one
anybody
up.
that doesn't see through it by now, like, you're doomed. But Nachikita, you know there's places we've had a good back and
go over to Paul's if you want some well, I'm not sorry, I'm giving directives. If you'd like to have your final words, I'm ending this one, sir. Thank you for being here.
I want to know why he had Marilyn Manson on his fucking laptop.
All right. Well, if y'all care to attempt, if you care to attempt to broach that topic over at Paul's, then more power to you. Oh, Paul doesn't like the smashed in three-way. Thanks to Mr. Unslave for being here. Much appreciated. And we're going to end this. Actually, I'm going to end this, and I may start another one, quite possibly. Or I might. I'm considering just going audio only. What do you think, Paul? Keeping it going for an hour, and I'll just talk. I'm just going to kick everybody off and talk so you can do your thing. They'll go over there. They're not going to listen to me talk.
I mean, I'd rather. It's up to you.
What do you want to do?
I'm never going to tell you what to do. I'd rather have you come over there and bring some of your topics and perspectives, even if it's kind of out there, man. I'd almost rather at this point talk fucking the Unabomber than continue with these hating ass slaves, you know, and we can mix in breaking news and whatever else. Like, it's just so boring and old at this point.
I fucking hate the breaking news. Just I could not stand it any less.
Can't win, wizard.
Well, I read a newspaper damn near every day of my life going back to the 80s. So if I'm going to learn the news, I'm going to read about it. I'm not trying to watch those bozos. But that's just me. I understand a lot of people are into it.
Well, I think people are into the breakdown
Go ahead,
so.
Wizard.
When you have a more objective view of the news and stuff like Paul and I do, and we pose that, I think that's what the people are interested in, is that opposition. You know, they want to, they're indoctrinated with that news media, and most of them believe it when that stuff comes out. So when you have
Wizard, I have to say, everything you're speaking on, that's their fucking problem, and I cannot even bring myself to concern myself with any of that. That's their problem. Let them have it. Exactly. From my perspective, speaking only for me. So
yeah,
they can have have fun.
And I'm the same way, but it comes to the point where somebody's got to do it in order to express the lies and deceit that they're pushing forth. And sometimes
when I hear what somebody has to do, I'm automatically tune out. So I have no idea what you said beyond that word, because I don't just my brain can't process what has to be done. You have to do this. Like, I got two things, brother man. Live and die, and then basic bodily functions, food and shelter. That's the list of things Benton got to do. Live, die. There's nothing else on that list, partner.
And when
appreciate you though. Hey, appreciate you. This is the part of you I don't like, by the way, Wizard. I don't like this part of you where you come on and tell motherfuckers what they got to do or have to do.
I don't mean it.
How about you tell them what they could do or what they might choose to do? Please make your requests in the form of a question, sir. That would be much more appreciated. Yes. Well, at least pretend like I have an option, sir. If you're going to boss me around and tell me what to do. I would like to think I have.
Or I could
think I have a
preface it.
choice.
Or I could preface it that they do have a choice, and if you want to do this, then this is the way to go about it. So it's not anything that anybody has to do, and I apologize for that. But the premise is that the people that are caught up in slavery, if they want to get out, these are the things they need to do according to past history, is to defeat the lies that are being pushed, and that's it. It's if you want to live.
I would come at that from another angle. If they wanted to live that way, they would do those things. So they're proving that they don't want it by their actions. So there's really no need to go where you're going, because that's an extra layer that we can just, in the name of effectiveness, that can just go to the side. That don't help us. We observe their actions. We know that they don't want that because they're voting with their feet. So let's skip that layer.
Right, and that's why I say I use the wrong term, having to. They would do it if they wanted to. Correct.
So thus, in the negative form or the feminine or the passive, proving that they don't want it. It's confirmed. It negates itself. Until they confirm that they want to do something, we know that they, in fact, do not. It's very easy.
Right, and that's one of the things
myself
I like about
included,
you.
by the way. Myself included. I'm in that group, but go ahead.
And that's what I was just going to say. And that's one of the things I do appreciate about you, because you don't put up with that have to shit. Neither do I. And that's part of my problem in the language, is I still express it that way sometimes.
Wizard, I don't put up with it in here, brother. What you got going on is your problem. I don't put up with it in here. And when I do, when I detect it, we kick it out. We get shed of it. Like
I appreciate it. And I appreciate it. That's why I say I need the correction.
Ruthlessness. Vigilance and ruthlessness and constant awareness of what is happening. And invariably, the practitioner falls away from that observation. Here, the thing that needs to be shed of comes, get shed of it.
Yep.
And if you do that, I will see it. If you don't, I won't. It's that easy. And all the talking, it doesn't matter. I ain't judging based on that. Judging meaning to form opinion on, not to convict someone or to pass sentence on, which is another meaning of the term judge. And those get reversed all the motherfucking time. And people don't make it clear which one they mean. Well, I notice, and I know which one they mean because I understand the context, but a lot of people don't. So let's be clear. That's why I can't do anything without judging, meaning to form an opinion on.
Right. And that's why
I'm not the judge who passes sentence.
Right. And that's why I say I appreciate you and what you said.
Basic, embrace the fundamentals before you go headlong into confusion and complication. If you don't spend the time with the basics and you skip that and you go into the complicated shit, you're not going to be where you need to be. In my experience of my walk, that's my view of it. I have no idea for you. That's been speaking what I did. Walking around, sleeping rough for 6 straight years. I figured that part of it out. I ain't got it all figured out, but I figured out that part.
Right. And that's why I say I appreciate what you say, because you come at it with a critical view that helps me understand where I'm going wrong. And that's in the words. It's not me. It's the words that I use. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, and I'm critical because that was one of the tools I was given to work with. But thank you. I appreciate it. It's good to see you today.
You as well.
Happy birthday to me, by the way.
Hey, there you go. I got one coming up in about 8 days.
Can I just say something real quick?
Yes, that's right. Go ahead, sir.
Thanks. I hope that Razvan goes up to your channel, Paul, and then goes up to the panel and talk to you, because he fucking just runs off in the chat again, right? And then when he goes up in the panel, like, he just turns into a fucking a puppy dog. I mean, Razvan, fucking get your shit together.
See, this is where I come at it from
your Razvan for your generous contribution. My apologies, Paul, for stepping on you.
No, it's all right. I come at it from a different perspective because it's not that I believe, I've been shown in my life that I do have an ability to influence the situation. I mean, they talk about influencers all the time, and I go, influencing people to do what exactly? All I'm seeing is slavery and decadence. So when I became aware of the power that I guess was given to me, as Wizard says, formed in the belly to be a prophet unto the nations, I just became aware of that, right? That's part of self-awareness. Hey, I do have an ability to influence the outcome here. The only difference is how much patience and care and truth can I apply to the situation over and over again, seemingly with little to no change. And then when I do that process over time, some light comes through at some point. And they go, oh my God, this whole time we complained and bitched and didn't see the point. And now, Paulie boy, we're seeing some light at the end of the tunnel. That's not a train coming with this person. I go, yeah, because I'm in this to actually make a change. I fashion myself as one of those people, right? If not a philosopher, then someone who's going to work with the people and learn more about myself and the human condition and try to influence in places where, as Benton says, I've got something. Right? I may not have it all, but I've got something to share. It's worked for me. I think it'll work for you. So I'm almost taking a therapeutic, clinical practitioner approach where at times I mix it up and I get into it because to me, I think that is the therapy. You got to get into it. You got to mix it up. You got to reveal the subconscious so it can be talked about. So day after day, you can have it revealed. This is what you're doing. This is what you're creating. There's another way. And then after time, I see the result. Usually, with folks who are not completely bereft of any kind of consciousness and awareness of the situation.
And I noticed a key point in there from my perspective that I believe maybe I can add on is that people may not realize that it's my assertion that our creative force never lies dormant. In each new moment, it is bringing something new into existence, at least in some way. Now, what ends and what is that serving? That we can discuss. But that's from my perspective. I think maybe that would connect with what you just said.
Right. I mean, again, let's just point it out for him. This has happened for months. He's contributed to me multiple times. When he gets in his feelings, he says things like this, not going to be masturbated. Paul is boring to me, but good luck with the bag. So we're back to where you were before. You're angry that you contributed and supported to me. I haven't changed who and what I am and what I do. If you were bored with me, why would you have contributed in the first place? Were you lying then or are you lying now? Or are you just lacking in complete self-awareness of why you do anything that you do, really? None of it makes any sense. Then if I asked you today, hey, do you want your donations back again? You're going to say yes. Then you're going to come up and talk to me. Then you're going to resonate with me one-on-one. And you're going to say, no, Paul, keep it. And here's more. Like last time. Why do we have to do this process day in and day out like broken hose that I have to pimp on and remind who and what we are and what we're here doing?
Maybe we're dealing with somebody who's got bipolar, Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe we got to be more understanding.
Well,
maybe there's multiple personalities going on.
We certainly aren't able to make psychological diagnoses over the internet. We can speculate in a broad, general sense, but we certainly won't.
That's why I said maybe.
Actual diagnosis. Well, I'd prefer not to use the technical terms of the diagnosis if possible, but thank you.
Yeah, I just call it personality disorder. I mean, I don't really need to get significant. I don't need to get, specific with the characterization of what's generally the same thing over and over again. A personality disorder, a disordering of the person's inner space and the activities that extend from that. And it's evident day by day. I don't even need to spend time and live with people to identify personality disorder. It's evident. How much time and cyclical cycles do I have to spend with somebody online before I see what the root of their beingness is that they can't transition out of?
Probably not very long.
Well, I hope you had a good birthday, Benton. And thanks for having me on.
It continues. Thanks for being here.
Yeah. Gonna take off now.
All right, brother.
Peace.
We're wrapping up at some point, and we're coming up on 11 hours and 12 minutes. That was Nachiketa.
Yeah, I was surprised when I come up and saw you'd already been on for 10 hours. Thought,
yeah,
wow.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's been a great birthday, man. I've enjoyed it thoroughly. And shout out to the chat and everybody that was here. We had some generous donators. Polly Boy's tribute currently stands at $42.99. Well, plus I will then add to that later. But yes, looking forward to that. Value return for value given, in my view. So thanks to everybody for doing that.
Absolutely. Hope you have a great day, brother.
Oh, yeah. Y'all headed over there, I guess?
Yeah. Well, I've got other things I got to do too. So I'm gonna head out and start doing those, and then I'll pop on Paul's here after a bit.
Cool. Sounds good. Thank you, sir.
Bless you, brother. Appreciate it. Like I said many times, the differences between people. I appreciate people that are willing to stand up and criticize me for what I do or say, and it's important. I need that, because if people don't do that, I don't know my own errors. So again, when it comes to the language and stuff, that's what I need, so I can correct myself, so that when I am going in front of these officials and everything, I am using that proper context. So again, thank you.
Thanks for being here. Have a good day. All right, I forgot what we're doing. You're doing your thing, or I'm just completely forgotten where we're at?
Yeah, I'm just hanging and kind of letting you
awesome.
take the reins back and,
Beautiful.
play it out here. And I'm kind of preparing at the same time. So,
I love it. I love that. Yeah, man. Most of the TBE and you taking on the entire room more or less. I was just watching without the audio. It's almost better that way, since I feel like I know the players to some extent. That was very interesting. I'm worried about there may be valid reason for concern with respect to the amount of alcohol TBE apparently ingested over. This could be a medical situation.
He goes, we can't diagnose mental illness officially over the internet. What we can do is prove that someone is an insufferable drunk. So I'll accept that. I'll accept that characterization. He's saying it's a medical emergency. It's beyond personality disorder and addiction. The man needs intervention immediately.
Man. Yeah, where's that Jeff Van Dondren when you need him? Hey, they're going to say what they have to say. You're going to say what you have to say, and then we're out of here. It won't take long. We'll do that quickly. Yeah, I was at one point I felt that I was almost interjected to say, "Hey, toilet bowl, just log off, man." Like this is, and I wonder. Well, I don't want to. Let's just leave it. Yeah, my inclination is to go in further at this point, but. Yeah, don't believe I shall.
I mean, listen, I'll listen. I'll listen. You go deep on it. What else are we doing? We're sitting here. Whatever's apparent to you, speak on it. There's really no judgment behind it.
I want to
What
speak
is
on
content at this point?
Oh, I wanted to. Well, okay. And a specific piece of content is Brian O'Shea playing internet poker, and I have familiarity. Well, that's a tough one. With what he's going through and subjecting himself to. So I know why he has the focus in. It's because he plays tournaments and he can't just not play the tournament. But a cash game, he would have the option of being like, oh, let's go on the broadcast for 10 minutes, quit the game, and then start another game. That's the issue in my view. If I may be so
I mean, you
broach the topic.
You essentially have an addiction within an addiction. I mean, obviously gambling has an addictive quality to it, and if you're going to do screen digital gambling, it almost doubles down on that. You're disconnecting yourself from other people in real world situations, and you're chasing.
Oh, I'm doing that anyway. But yeah, I'm doing that anyway. But sorry to interrupt.
What do you mean you're doing it?
Oh, I'm doing what you just said. The isolation part. I isolate a lot, but I'm a hermit, so it's not so bad. So we don't really know if. I mean, can we just assume that this is necessarily detrimental? That he's using this as some sort of barrier in a way?
Yeah, but what are you doing in isolation? Isolation can be the precipice or the precedent for enlightenment.
Yes, absolutely. Time alone with oneself. Time alone with oneself.
Exactly. Isolating that is productive long term or reformative is different from isolation out of addiction and codependence and a chasing of an experience you can't achieve on your own time with yourself.
I get that. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Especially too, I mean, if you have a history of struggling with creating value regularly for yourself in your life, to be going to that modality to create it is I think, a cause for concern. But who am I? He
I would
doesn't
agree. Yeah. I would agree with that. Yes, fair assessment. Go ahead, sir. I cut you off.
Yeah, no, it's a very sort of insecure position to not have faith in yourself and in producing and creating value, and then go to try to get it through a form like gambling. I think that it could be a setup for disappointments.
Absolutely, of course, yes, most definitely, very destructive. Yes, can be, and I would say more often than not is destructive. Now, whether the person comes out of the other end of that and then is able to play a game like poker involving skill and then take fiat out of the game without getting sucked back into that thing. So this is, speaking for myself, I played some poker recently and actually accrued some fiat. And in the process of doing so, one day I had a thought if I should go play poker because I had enough money. And even if I lost that $500, it wouldn't have mattered. But then I was like, oh no, dummy, because I was upset about something in my personal life. So that's off the table. Anytime the person's upset about something in their personal life, can't go play poker, because that's when the person may very well just dust off the entire bankroll. So that's what I would be on the lookout for, me personally. Not in my life, but as we observe this, whatever is unfolding. But then there's always the possibility of going on a big run also. And, then that's even worse, right, in the long run. Then whatever the fall is even larger, right?
Yeah, I mean, you could even, I've kind of looked at this in different ways. You could equate a love affair with the same thing. There's a desire, a chasing, a getting, keeping, having, and then a losing process. If you don't perfect something outside of that experience to deal with that experience, you're going to become that experience over and over again.
And for many people, the feeling of losing is the strongest and can thus be, if not examined, all of these emotions, in my experience, if they're not examined properly, they can be mistaken, right? So that the powerful feeling of losing, I believe that's what the person over time actually becomes, identified with or begins to want out of the experience. And I believe that in some ways, casinos in general, not talking about poker specifically, are set up for that, to reinforce that in the person who goes in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's cliche at this point. Who you are as a beingness has to be the gateway for the experience. The experience can't be the gateway for you to justify your beingness, if that makes sense.
I would need to see that written down. I have this problem where it can be difficult for me to take in information in a spoken form. But yes, sounds like you're on the right track. I didn't completely understand.
The process of self-actualization and realization should be your greatest high, and a comfort when you're at your low. If you're going into the world to try to achieve some kind of alternate process to fulfill that, inherent sort of program, it would seem to me you're setting yourself up for failure.
Well, and without an introspective examination of what in the hell's going on in here, for many people, I don't believe they're going to be able to accurately distinguish one state from another, state of being to be specific, or state of whatever we're calling it. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's where the whole idea of what they call breath work and different practices come in to kind of slow down, to watch yourself more, to become aware of subtle changes in your chemistry and in your beingness, so that you could make it that much more easy or effective to root out what's going on and change it. Again, this is the value and the power behind self-awareness that oftentimes gets mistaken for just highbrow guru, psychobabble. But you're trying to language out an experience that you've had that as your greatest power and value in all situations, and it reverts back to the ancient mysteries and the ancient wisdom. Hasn't changed. Always been the same walk.
I would tend to agree with that based on what my understanding is at this time, or what I believe to be my understanding at this time, rather. Well said, in my opinion.
You want to put the link down, Benton? Do you want to gamble now? It's getting a little bit too. You feel that? It's a little too peaceful. Numbers are dropping a little bit because they want to hear people fight and argue and act like crazy people.
Oh, it's my birthday. Fuck them.
All right, this is about. Can we get back to you?
Can we get back to me?
All right, you could Talcott it out for one day. Why not?
If only all of you slaves would get your shit together, life would be better for me. That's what Tribe. I remember that time Tribe more or less said that in a Talcott voice. So make haste. I'm not going to be here too long. So let's, as I posted in the chat earlier, let's enjoy this wonderful man while he's still here.
Thank you, sir. You're really laying it on thick now. You're gonna.
I meant me. Yeah, was there some confusion? I was talking about myself. But yeah, you as well, sir. You as, yeah, sure. Yeah, you as well.
Sorry, I'm easily confused. I have an egoic presentment that I have to upkeep here.
Yes, indeed. Yes, let's serious. The serious broadcast. Yeah, I'm honestly, I don't believe I'm capable of meeting what I would consider to be my minimum standard on your much larger broadcast that you're presumably will be conducting. And I'm a fan of said broadcast. So
I'm going to make a foam Talcott hand for fans.
What is that?
Like the foam hand that they have at the stadiums. I'm going to do a Talcott.
Oh,
version.
the foam finger. Like the foam finger. Okay.
Talcott always has really big hands, it seems, when he comes on, like his angle or whatever it is. When he puts his hands out, they're like humongous.
He might have large hands. He might have big mitts. You never know.
Yeah, that's what God would do, is give Talcott the biggest cock on the panel, right? The guy who's going to be able to use it the least because he's so confused and dissolute. That would make sense.
Hey, did you like, I know you don't know sports, but you remember, have you ever heard of the football player Jim Brown? Or I'm assuming you don't like sports. I don't want to speak for you.
Yeah, I'm not really into it, but Jim Brown rings a bell. Seem to remember that name.
Very tough black man, ran the football, the best ever, and supposedly in some, and I'm not going to go too deep sports, but because he was such a tough hombre and he's been in movies and stuff, this is how the story goes, that the coach was not able to directly chew out that player. So they actually had like a stand-in, like a guy that would just be next to Jim Brown, and the coach would chew out the guy next to him.
Wait, that was a real thing?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And what Jim Brown made like he made conditions that, hey, if you're gonna insult me, you're gonna insult the guy next to me, or I'm not doing it.
No, I think the coach was smart enough to know how to coach him properly. That's just my view of it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It was a simulation where the coach said, we're going to put something next to you and insult him as you, so you could take a third party view. Yeah.
Like some sort of voodoo, some sort of mechanism, like a mechanism. So I feel like
that makes sense, man.
Yeah. So I feel like what happened with Wizard may have been some version of that, although maybe not exactly. Kind of felt that way as it was happening.
You're saying you were using Wizard as my Jim Brown third party? You were insulting me by insulting him?
No. I feel like I was chewing him out for you so that you didn't have to deal with it. It's similar to the Jim Brown. It's like a variation of the Jim Brown. Yeah. Okay.
He was my Jim Brown dummy. I'm the Jim Brown in this scenario.
Well, obviously. I mean, of course. I thought that went without saying. I mean,
right. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's
we
right.
have to say basic, obvious shit. This is not a TV sitcom, sir. No exposition.
Sorry, I have to get back.
Exposition is poor writing. Expository
That's it.
dialogue
After
is
you do
poor
a certain
writing.
amount of time on the panel with Tommy and TBE, you have to retransition back into a different space.
That's right. Oh, I am a big fan of Tommy, I must say.
What do you like about him? Could you clarify this once and for all? Like what exactly it is you're getting from that experience?
The novelty of whatever the way he the novelty of the words that come out of his mouth. It's like a performance art.
So
I'm artsy fartsy like Yurt. I just don't come across it that way. But go ahead. Please.
No, I get that, and that might be why you're attracted to my likeness, I guess you could say. But it doesn't go anywhere with Tommy ever, regardless of the novelty of the words he chooses. As you say, there's never any sense behind it. It never goes anywhere. There's never really a coherent thought most of the time. So it's all just kind of rooted in his own dysfunction. So I never really get any value out of the experience. Just like, okay, here comes Tom again to display his dysfunction and never have a real conversation. I mean, there's only so many times you can come on panel with folks you can't have a real conversation with before you just start to see them like a doll or a dummy, you know, like a clown.
That hasn't happened for me. Perhaps it will in the future.
Well, listen, I'm not going to come across like a, you know, I want to be the main one. I'm jealous of him kind of thing. I'm like, hey, if you're going to go experience Tom, could you just report to me what you get out of that experience? Right.
Well,
I'm curious to know. Yeah. I'm like, Benton, go out and experience Tom, then come back to this co-hosting experience and tell me, your co-host, what you got from that experience. We're like metaversally cucking in a way.
In what sense? I need clarification.
I'm making you uncomfortable.
And
I'm saying
you're
like
not.
a thing
No,
now. We've merged. We've merged. We're like an entity, like a couple almost.
Would you like me to speak in a novel way that I guarantee you've never heard?
Yes, please do.
Okay, because of my pattern recognition, and because I'm in touch with my intuition, and because I'm military minded, and I made a 99 on the ASVAB, I immediately, when we first started having conversations way back in the day, I knew at some point this would be the dynamic, and I've already the framework for the kung fu, the metaphorical kung fu, is already in place. So, do we have to do that part, or can you just accept that I've installed that code? We'll move on.
Okay, so you're saying you don't even like talking about the merging. It makes you uneasy.
You're addressing feelings when what we're doing is like I already learned the fucking
It's like when it comes to anything that has to do with love or even what may sound like it, I'm going to distance myself from that immediately.
Well, I'm not going there. There's no distance required if one never actually goes in that direction, right?
Right.
See how it works.
Well,
yeah.
I just I'm playing to the balcony a bit.
Indeed,
painting a picture.
I need you to know that because I'm not trying to put, in my weakened state. I would prefer not to put a lot of energy into whatever that would be. It would be entertaining.
Oh yeah, no, please don't embarrass us. Just because I talk about the loving nature of our merge doesn't mean that I want any of that time, energy, attention that you have put into me and what we have. I'm exactly like you. You know, I'm like, the more loving and caring you are, the less you're in my life and in my way. It's very Talcottian in its own sense.
I see.
The best news for me is no news a lot of the time.
Oh, yes. No news is good news, sir. Absolutely. Well, this has been great, man. I'm glad you stopped by, and much appreciated.
I appreciate you, sir. How much time do I have here? Okay, I'm running late on my thing because I'm enjoying this conversation. Yeah. So
right on, man.
I got 20 minutes. I'm good.
Okay, cool.
Let me get the hell out of here, Benton.
We got to hit 20, but go ahead. Or if you're out, that's cool. But I'm probably going to sit here and talk just my icon because for some reason I'm feeling talky. So
yeah, I'm going to hang and listen to you while I prepare my shit. But I
awesome.
appreciate you and what you're doing. I look forward to a recovery and resolution in whatever you're going through. And I would like to talk more about what remedies you've explored and maybe what else is out there. Why should we lose Benton before his time? If we can resolve the issue, there's so many other folks who we could stand to lose before Benton.
Well, I want to thank you, sir. And I appreciate you saying that. And I want to say this, I'm going to float a suggestion if you're open to it. What about a possible one-on-one pre-recorded conversation instead of a live? What do you think?
I'm open to that.
I think, in my opinion, that would be the best format for that.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't done that in a while, so it's probably good to maybe get back to where you once belonged, so to speak.
Well, and, my suggestion would be for both sides to record the thing, and then you'll own as far as I'm concerned, you will own your recording. So do whatever you want to with it. Right. That's the way I view it. That's the way how I view it.
Right. And just to be clear, like Razvan says, I'm not giving health advice. What I said was having a conversation.
I heard what he said. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You heard me. Okay. Great.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, because I have I'm paying attention, and I have well, he's not a native English speaker, so I'm not talking about Razvan, but yeah, I have I'm able to comprehend. So yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Blessings to you,
real quick,
Benton.
as a
ahead.
fan, sorry I stepped on your deal. As a fan of the channel, I do fanboy out on occasion, and I used to fanboy out on CBO to some extent. That is true, but I may have lost my point. What was I saying? Fanboy out. Shit. Oh no, I don't know. I can't remember. Great stuff. Great broadcast. Well done, sir. Talking about me.
Thank you, Mr. Benton.
Yep.
We'll see you later.
Thanks for being here. Yeah, I wish I hadn't
Absolutely.
completely forgotten, but after you go, I will remember. So,
All right, let me get the hell out of here.
all right, brother. Appreciate it. And that was Mr. Paul Enslaved. And my internet connection is most likely going to take a match. Happy birthday to me, and thank you very much. Sherelle Snow says she hopes I have a happy birthday and to enjoy my day. Well, what happened today is that Benton hosted the broadcast. Let's just sum this up for the audience, if I may. So what happened is Benton, for some reason, awakened about an hour to an hour and a half earlier than normal at approximately 12:38 a.m. And of course, checked the time on his phone, and then fired up YouTube. You know, we can talk about addiction if you'd like, and with respect to me and YouTube. And immediately saw TBE was live, clicked on it, and they were talking about me. Of course they were. So I got up and I had to set up all the. Well, sorry. See the language? See the language wizard? I didn't have. I got to. I had the privilege and the opportunity to set up all of my broadcasting equipment that had been still in the backpack that I should have set up the night before, right? But I procrastinated a tad. So I've been going to the library, as some of you may notice, for the superior internet connection. So then it was an epic early part of the stream, lots of drama. In fact, if that content had been actually, I should probably replay that. How about that? I will replay that at some point, although not right now. Anybody that wants to rewind to maybe the first 5 hours of the broadcast, perhaps. And then Paul came in after that, and we worked together, in my view, to take the broadcast to another level. And in fact, I believe this is the highest numbers ever. Right around 87, I think, is the all-time peak for the channel with respect to. Well, no, that's not. I got one person simulcasting. Let me see. Hang on. How many? Somebody connect. I think it's probably Pineal, right? How many's Pineal got over there? It doesn't tell me. Well, however many Pineal has. So I think the most I saw was, yes. Anyway, forget that. See, I'm trying to brag on myself on my birthday. It's not even working. What even is this, man? Oh, I better read the private chat. Oh, it was Tommy trying to come up. Rob Cleveland fell asleep a few different times. Almost 12 hours. Yeah, I'll get out before 12 hours, certainly. Just summing up the broadcast. Thank you very much, Moose, my fellow male Leo, wishing me a happy birthday. One of my several, actually. And if I wasn't under the influence of the not occurring naturally in the cannabis plant synthetic cannabinoids that I got from a tobacco shop in Arkansas, then certainly I would be able to accurately speak to that. But I couldn't even make my point with Mr. Enslaved there at the end. But don't blame the reefer, don't blame the synthetic cannabinoids. My health is actually a contributor to that. And I'm looking forward to having a conversation with Paul. Pre-recorded. I do like the pre-recorded one-on-one format. I'm a fan. Debatably, I have some skill in that area, perhaps demonstrated over time. Tommy is like listening to an angry version of Terrence McKenna. I don't agree with most of it, but it's brilliant. Well said. No, well said. Well, and by the way, for fans of the channel over time, Tommy and Paul have fought several pitched battles here on the channel on even terrain, even footing, meaning nobody was backstage for the most part. I sat back and Paul did not have the keys. That was at least 3 different times on this channel. So at some point, maybe I'll get off my butt and I will go find those clips. And those are classics, more classics brought to you from the Benton channel. And if you like what you're seeing, I'm planning on bringing more of this to you. If you like what you're hearing, much appreciated for all the generous donations. If those were to continue, certainly that would assist Mr. Benton. And I've already accepted that I'm physically not fit to go back to work, and my DOT physical is going to expire. And while I could, I guess I could put some rocks in my pocket maybe and like wear a heavy jacket and just kind of bluff my way through the thing. But I'm sure I could get it re-up, my DOT medical card. But at this point, I'm really not physically fit for truck driving, and it's probably for the best. So obviously would never, me personally, I'm not, I'm grateful for the donations, and were that to continue, again, I would most likely be able to subsist on one part-time job, which would be lovely. I do need to get out into the realm at various times. For me personally, I found at times I need to go out there and mix, even with these, what passes for a human being these days, right? But it's been a good day. I'll resist the urge to go full doomer. I don't know. Can we? Not in the next 21 minutes, Razvan. No, we can't hear Tommy out because the broadcast is about to run up against what they call a hard out, Razvan. I'm going to teach you pop culture, American radio lingo. That would be known as a hard out. In almost exactly 20 minutes, we have a hard out. Actually, slightly before, because I don't want to risk breaching that wall beyond the 12 hours, right? And this is my eulogy in some ways, man. Play this motherfucker at my funeral, Jack. Oh! Yeah, it was my distinct honor and pleasure there to temporarily, at what I would view as an ad hoc grassroots fashion with Mr. Unslaved, who I felt confident would clear the room, pump up the numbers, be great for engagement. And I'm more than happy to freely choose to provide donations to him. That in part came from the viewers of this broadcast. Yes, indeed. If I go over 12 hours, I'll lose the stream. And I want to talk movies. Since it's my birthday, we're going to talk movies. Why not? And I may go back to serious topics. Sunshine time, getting ready. And there's nothing wrong with a little crowd work for filler, right? Let's fill the time. I'd hate to leave too much time for fancy boy film nerd time, right? Fancy boy film nerd chat. Yeah, I saw EBT. I seen him. As my people might say, I seen him. And I like when Paul says that I like when he addresses the folks who peaked so early, like in high school through athletics or, some sort of competitive endeavor. Because if I'm honest with myself, I'm 18 in my brain. And my favorite moment in my entire life was after much time formally learning how to be good at pickup basketball and never playing, for any, organized teams. I just happened to have the blessing of, there was an elementary school in my hometown, which I actually lived in the white town that directly connects to what is more or less an entire city limits of ghettos called Pine Bluff, Arkansas, which I frequented and was entered on a near daily basis once I became a certain age. So I effectively am from there, and I was born at the hospital there. So the more, I guess some of the people who actually wanted to play basketball without any sort of drama on the basketball court, because Whitehall PD never came out there one fucking time. Why? Because these people where I grew in fact on the broadcast? Oh, accidentally unplugged the microphone, playing around with it while I reminisced here, and I'm a poor storyteller in some regards. So, and I said nothing. I realized my icon had stopped vibrating. Some people left though. Probably some people like me who have trouble following a story. Yes, indeed, lots of shorts could be made from this stream, and they don't have to be made or by me or posted on this channel. As far as I understand how YouTube works, anybody can make a short from this broadcast, should it remain up. So I had a self-selected group of athletic black fellas who enjoyed playing full court pickup basketball, but on a short court where one of the rims was damn near 10 feet. That was the one Benton never dunked one time. And the other one was right around slightly above 9.5. And that's where Benton showed off his white boy dunking skills. However, never dunked in a game on a black person anyway. And the times I was able to dunk on a white person don't count where I'm from. Meanwhile, this was back when Christian Laettner and Duke were kicking everybody's ass in college football. And because Bobby Hurley is a bad motherfucker, that was my nickname. Of course, I was the only white boy out there. And of course, I'm playing point, right? Of course. And so they called me Hurley, Hurley, Hurley. That's what I heard when people thought they wanted the ball, right? Maybe somebody that never played with me didn't understand that it will be where they need it when they need it. That's my job, amongst other things, such as defense, rebounding, and the most blocked shots in a playground basketball schoolyard history for a 5'8", 100. I'm a little taller now. 5'8", approximately 130-pound white boy. Believe that, partner. So the highlight of my life was I had these three guys I played with, and I had the advantage. I lived in the neighborhood, so I could always get the court first, thus always ensuring first game. And winner keeps the court. And we held the court all Saturday long one time while about 40 brothers surreptitiously sipped their 40s, smoked their Newports, ate their fried chicken. Did not offer me any, by the way, although I was certainly a minor at the time, and I guess they knew that they best mind their P's and Q's and not run afoul of the policy enforcers. That was a wonderful, but even better than that was being on the court, and some people who probably heard about the game but had never played in it showed up. And one of the other guard on our 4-man squad, my fellow guard, picked first, and he selected Benton with the number 1 pick of the day. And the looks on those brothers' faces, oh, he took the white boy. But they didn't say it out loud, see. They didn't say it out loud. They whispered it. And their eyes and their faces said it all. Oh, he took the white boy. And then, of course, we went on to hold court that day, as we did many days. But the crowded Saturday with the large people grumbling and wanting to get in the game, right? Or waiting their turn, having to wait their turn, right? Winner keeps the court. And you want to know why my fellow guard teammate picked me first that one time and one time only, and the only white boy in the game, all of 5'8", and weighing more than I weigh now, perhaps 128, 130 pounds. You know why? Out of respect.